I am not the best at speaking French, so sorry if I butcher any words. Today I will be talking about the Great Paris Cypher. So Antonio and his son created it. Antonio shows in the historical records of Paris around 1626. He assisted in the siege of Romont City. His cipher career with the crown started with deciphering a letter that was taken from a messenger from Wilmot City. Antonio cracked it in about a day, and the French army forced the city to surrender, and Antonio was granted a position in the crown's code bureau. And it was created roughly around 1643 to the 17th century. We're not exactly sure. So why? So the secret is out. The monoalphabetic substitution was becoming more known across seas, and this created weak points in the French Empire's messaging encryption. And the polyalphabetic cipher and homophonic cipher took too much time to encrypt, so Antonio took on the task of creating the Great Paris Cypher. The Raisonios were cryptanalysts and cryptographers. Being cryptanalysts gave insight on how to develop a new cipher. How does it work? Well, the codebook was never fully released to the public domain. It still remains in the French archives. The cipher is unique to the French at the time. It used numbers to encode French syllables. Until the Rassals, no cipher had encrypted text using numerical system. The Great Cypher utilized 578 numbers. That was absurd at the time, considering that monoalphabetic substitution ciphers only used 26 letters. They would also hide traps in their ciphers. It combined homoclad and codebook techniques with monoalphabetic substitution nulls and aliases to create a layered cipher to defeat frequency analysis and become hardly unbreakable for nearly 250 years. It used code to replace common words, names, and places with assigned numbers. In addition to it, it incorporated monoalphabetic substitution for individual letters. Nulls were those traps that meant nothing. So every number was assigned to a word in the code book. So again, we don't have the original book because it's still in the French archives and has not been released to the public. So here's a English translated codebook example of what it would be. As you can see, it has all of the alphabet completely turned numerical, and common phrases turned numerical. So who broke it? Antony, I cannot say his last name. Antony broke it, and he used frequency analysis of symbols. He was a French military cryptologist who broke it around 1890. He used frequency analysis of symbols rather than letters, and a lot of breaking the code was actually educated guesses based on encryption text where code and plain text were merged. Letters that were taken from Britain were the ones that were used most commonly to figure out this. So the code that did it was actually, it translated to the enemies in English. And here, I will just show you. This was the code. It was 124, 22, 125, 46, and 345. So, code breaking. What you would do here is you would find, obviously, the frequencies, and oftentimes that would be syllables, but a lot of the times, for so long, it was considered like hardly unbreakable because there were so many traps or nulls within the code, and things would be switched around so often, including code names and aliases. So he looked for like syllables and educated guesses. So for this, you would translate this from the numerical system to the monophonic system, and you go se is part of a syllable, and then krent is also a part of the syllable, and the thing at the end is just a null. It's not a part of the code. So translating it, la secret, it would be the secret in English. Encryption. We will be using a made-up code book, the message, la secret. It would be going back to our little code book here. You can see this, and then we would just pick and choose from our code. And it would be 84, 360, 17, 12, 515, 17, 203, and 583. Again, easy way to tell is picking out syllables and doing frequency analysis, and you can do that to some degree. These are my credits and who I researched. These are my links. Thanks for listening. Bye.